and the New Orleans Saints hosting Kirk Cousins and the Vikings yesterday. We're going to pick this game up in overtime, and Cousins with perhaps his best throw of the day, of the season, finding Adam Thielen for the 43-yard deep ball. That gets Minnesota to the 2-yard line. 3 plays later, Cousins looking to the corner, finds Kyle Rudolph for the 4-yard game-winning touchdown. Saints fans want the offensive push-offs are stunned at home. Vikings win 26-20 in overtime to advance. Nick, after the game, the NFL's head of officiating, Al Riveron, released a statement. He said none of that contact rises to the level of a foul, just to make sure it was sent to New York and back. You think Rudolph's touchdown should have been overturned?
No, absolutely not. And Saints fans, I understand the pain. I think I do over the last 3 years.
You can't just allow this guy to just walk out.
This was not why the NFL instituted instant replay. It was because of the egregious, awful penalty that wasn't called against the Rams in the game involving the Saints, obviously, last year. This is, no, they should not have overturned this. And the story of the game, to me, Greg, is not this non-call. The story of the game is Kirk Cousins finally gets some vindication. Everyone talks about Kirk Cousins' record in night games. I didn't care about that. The point was, against good teams, he was terrible. He was 6-30. 6-30 in his career against teams that finished with a winning record. And he goes to New Orleans, to a way overqualified 3 seed. 13-3 team, plays better than Drew Brees, and Jenny, you mentioned it, and Troy Aikman on the broadcast had it exactly right in real time. Unleashes the single best throw of his career to set up the touchdown. It was a damn good throw itself in the touchdown, the throw to Thielen. And there's some irony in the throw to Thielen, this one here. This is the exact route, the exact play. I said it earlier, I will say it again. That he missed Thielen on in week 4 against Chicago. That he then apologized to Thielen about. That then all the Kirk Cousins noise got deafening. He hit it in the biggest spot, 17 divisional titles, it's the exact throw, it's the exact play, and he misses it. 9 Super Bowl appearances, and he was, Thielen or Cousins was asked about after the game and confirmed, same route, same play, missed it once, made it in this game. So I'm happy for Kirk Cousins. Seems like a really good guy. I don't know that he's a great quarterback, but he deserved this moment because he's been good enough to have at least one moment like this. That, to me, is more the story than a call that is a non-call all the time, a slight push-off in the end zone.
And we saw getting to the call, should it have been offensive pass
when they
interference?
refused to trust him on the goal line in the critical spots. Handoff,
it didn't surprise me that it wasn't called because this has been so inconsistent 4th and 6. It was actually 4th and 4 with the chance of, do we want to talk about why down one, or do we punt it back to Tennessee offensive defensive pass interference,
no, we'll trust our defense because we don't trust our quarterback anymore.
And it's for plays like this. When you look at this and you look at the extension, the defender goes back, and I'm an offensive guy. Like, I play receiver. I know the advantages you get when you just get that little separation. Why? Because if you don't get that separation, they have an opportunity to impede where the ball is going to land.
32 touchdowns, 8 picks, wins league MVP,
it was a great throw by Kirk Cousins.
Last year, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks, a 97 rating. And this year, they're out in the first round. He has an 88 rating.
I think they should have overturned it. I don't like the fact that this has happened to the Saints 2 years back-to-back. Do I feel sorry for the Saints? Absolutely not. It's unfortunate, but to your point that you made about Kirk Cousins,
removing the history, and the nostalgia component.
He outplayed Drew
Brees
last
week, I try not to engage
at home in his own house, and they deserve to win. They were clearly the better team. Offensively, defensively, they had the better quarterback, they had the better running back, they had the better receivers on the day, or receiver on the day. They just and the better defense on the day. They just overall outplayed.
And then there's the one other element of it.
Nick, this was supposed to be the most well-balanced Saints team we've seen in the last couple of years. So how painful is this now for New Orleans?
Well, it's excruciating. Inextricably tied together. And unfortunately for the Saints, I think this is a wrap. I think this is a wrap on the era. But it's not
after how well Brees and the team played.
So maybe once again at the very end of the year, for Brees last year was the last month for the playoff game. This year was the playoff game. Brees all of a sudden, the very end of the most critical moments looks over. And I wonder if Belichick, how much of his
looked
ego
old yesterday.
I want to see what this is like.
Old. You mentioned all the things the Vikings had better than the Saints yesterday.
Not me and
one you didn't
operation.
mention, but it was glaring.
Yeah, I think that
coaching.
That they both
it is not only
that way.
the Vikings were better prepared for this game. Absent the fumble on the opening drive, they played a very, very good football game, clean football game. It was also that in the critical moments, where was Sean Payton? What was Sean Payton doing with the clock at the end of that football game? You have a timeout. You get a stop on third down. There's 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. If you don't take that timeout, you lose 40 seconds, and on the punt, you're going to lose the 2-minute warning. They could have had the ball with 2:45, plus the 2-minute warning, obviously. Down 3, with a chance to go win. Forget a chance to kick a 49-yard field goal to tie. And Sean Payton doesn't call timeout. They lose the 2-minute warning. Keep that timeout in his pocket. Well, you want to keep that timeout in case you get a penalty for a 10-second runoff. That literally happened, and you still didn't use it. Sean Payton, every time we talk about top 5 coaches, Sean Payton's name is included. Every single time. Like it's mandatory.
3 plays later,
you had Drew Brees your whole time there. 5 years you had a losing record. 3 years in a row you lose playoff games you had no business losing. In the excruciating fashion, I get it. Minneapolis Miracle, killer. People talk about the missed call last year. It was a missed call, sure. But then in overtime, it was a 57-yard field goal to beat you. And then this game, you lose on the final play. You're home as a damn near double-digit favorite against the Vikings. It was Sean Payton, the coach team, that lost in the Beastquake game. Remember that a decade ago? That had a 3-point lead or a 4-point lead against Alex Smith and the Niners with 90 seconds left on playoff game. Lost that playoff game. This was not. This was not. You mentioned Mike McCarthy. The NFL instituted instant replay for not maximizing Aaron Rodgers' era penalty that wasn't Sean Payton against the Rams in the game. We talk about him last year like he is right behind Belichick. They should not have overturned. This was egregious game management at the end, Greg, and is a horrifying loss for a franchise that really couldn't sustain another horrifying loss because this was, I think, the final year of the championship window with a championship caliber quarterback in Drew Brees.
I agree 100% that this was the window for the New Orleans Saints with Drew Brees. However, we talked about Tom Brady, and you mentioned ripping the Band-Aid off right away. This is where I feel like the Band-Aid should be ripped off. Because you do have a potential successive plan in Teddy Bridgewater, who we've seen, and your fan base has seen, you saw how he could operate and run that offense with Sean Payton seamlessly.
This is the exact route.
You have that in place. You got to move on. You mentioned also Drew Brees looking old. There were several times where I felt like just his inability to extend the play and with his legs and get outside what we've seen to be the staple in our league, pass rushers that can just get after the quarterback. You have to have a guy that can be mobile and still get the ball downfield. Now, he's been able to do that his entire career, and it just didn't look like he had it yesterday. That was just,
good enough to have at least one moment like this. That to me is more the story than a call that is a non-call
I felt bad for the New Orleans Saints, not just solely for Drew Brees, because I felt like they weren't going to overcome that, and they did not.
All right, for the second time in 3 seasons, the Vikings have sent the Saints home for the season. Take a break. Coming up, is the Brady-Belichick era officially over? That's ahead on First Things.
On the bright side, Sean Payton, going to week 1 with 4 timeouts.